What is up, besties? It is your girl Karmic, back to you again with another video, and this time I had to take a look, y'all, because it's been going viral. Apparently everybody feels like the Olympics are trying to mock Catholic Christianity, whatever the fuck. All alleged, no facts here. So in today's reading, what I did was I took a look at the motivation behind what kind of looked like the Last Supper, but they argued it was the Feast of Dionysus, I think it is. Correct me in the comments, feel free. So I looked at the motivation behind it. I looked at the motivation of the people running Olympics. I looked at the motivation of basically what we needed to know about the Olympics. And I got a lot of tea that wasn't just Olympics based. So as always, this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, besties. There are zero facts here. Just psychic, intuitive impressions, no facts. Don't twist my words. But yeah, so in today's video, like I said, we're just gonna go over how they fumbled the bag so hard. Thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page, and it's how I can continue to make these videos. What's up, my regulars? Hey, besties. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful week, or whenever you're seeing this, if it's not on Friday. But yeah, if you guys are looking to book a private reading with me, the link to my website's in the description box below. We got tons of reviews. Thank you to everybody that leaves a review. I really appreciate that. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. But without further ado, y'all know the drill. So if you're new here, what comes next is a timeless message meant to find you. You don't have to be spiritual. Just go within and be like, do I think this message is for me? And if part of you wants to stick around, then check it out. The message might be for you. But if not, we are going to dive into, oh, did you get it? Dive into the Olympics. Ha! I'm funny. I'm sorry, I'm cheesy is what I am. But anyway, all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, besties. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of my world. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, besties. So if you stuck around for the general timeless message, this is for you. You could be seeing this when I release it. You could be seeing it 3 years from now. Take what resonates and do not let the rest take away from you. As always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button, bestie. We'd love to have you. So let's see, what does the general collective need to hear today? Okay. I think a lot of you have been in the grind energy for quite a while. And so I think Spirit's kind of asking you to kind of like lay your armor down and have some fun. I'm hearing the song Girls Just Want to Have Fun. So as always, take what resonates. Don't let the rest take away from you. But some of you might be building your happily ever afters. You might be working on yourself to get a relationship that is actually mutually beneficial instead of, half-assed, because I'm hearing the song Half of My Heart. So some of you may have dealt with, unequal give and take relationships, and you might be putting in the energy into yourself, working on yourself. I see a lot of like work on self. So this could be work on your mental. This could be working on your fitness. I just heard Fergie. But it just feels like I'm trying to do better for me because I want my happily ever after with the 10 of Cups. And what Spirit's trying to get across is that the work is paying off, but you also have to be an energetic match for good things, right? So think about how like our internal world is reflected in the external, right? Like if you're really depressed, your room tends to get messy, stuff like that. So it's like, we need to embrace lightheartedness and fun and playfulness. I think some of you might want a relationship, but you never leave your house. And trust me, I get that. Or like it doesn't mean like you're a homebody, but I feel like you're the type that like, some of you, take it as it resonates. But I think there's some people here that expect a relationship to just kind of happen when they barely go out. And it's almost like I'm seeing the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey in my mind's eye. So it's like, this is the time where we put down our effort. 8 of Pentacles, it's a working card, right? So we put the armor down and it's time to have fun. With 3 of Cups being the back deck energy, it's telling me that we've already done so much work, but we also live in a 3D reality. And so energetically, I almost feel like you guys are impatient. Like you can't wait for whatever it is that you're trying to bring in. Your happily ever after, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't even have to be a relationship, right? It could be like your dream job or something like that. But it's like, don't focus on the past. Don't focus on what didn't work for you. You see things for what they are already. Because with the moon card reverse, it's like we're not lying to ourselves. We're being honest about where we are in life. We're being honest about our, our faults, our flaws. We're looking at it. We're taking inventory and we're adjusting accordingly because we know that we are the reason for what we manifest in this world or what we end up with. So it's giving me like evolved energy, or maybe we're headed towards an evolved energy. It's kind of giving me empath to empowered empath. It feels like whoever you are, you're putting the work in, it's paying off, but I just almost see you being like, I'm so impatient. Where is my rewards? And it's like, it's coming, but we have to fall back now. It's reminding me of previous readings I've done where it's like the answers in the fallback. That's how it feels again. It's like, you're doing the work. It's paying off. I'm hearing you're doing amazing, sweetie. And with that rainbow there, it's giving me freedom energy. It's giving me like, you did the work and now it's about to manifest. But in order for it to manifest, we have to get out of this work hard mentality and get into this playful mentality. So if we're trying to, get an equal, because look, the Lover's card, it was right behind the Three of Cups. So some of you, this might be relationship based, whereas look, Queen of Cups. So some of you, this might be mental health and filling your own cup. But whatever it is that you're working on, it almost feels like you might have been having tunnel vision, working really, really hard on yourself in whichever avenue, career, love, fitness, mental health. But it's like you've had tunnel vision on the working and you're kind of burnt out. You're kind of tired. I'm hearing the song, I've been beaten down. I've been kicked around. So it's like you did the work. Now it's time to enter receiving energy so that, I don't know if you guys just heard that, but a cop car or whatever just went by and it feels like it's like, yes, like it's now, like we need to fall back so that it can come in. Because think about when we're chasing, right? We push energy away from us because we're chasing. Whereas when we fall back, that's when energy comes to us. You ever notice how like you're having an off day and you want to be left the fuck alone? You're like really just, you want to be left alone. And that seems like it's the time where everyone hits you up. That's because you're in the receiving energy. You finally decided, I'm putting all the wands down. I'm not working anymore. I'm not doing self-care well, not self-care, but I'm not doing the work to get to the mental health. I'm just chilling. Like that's where we need to get. I'm just chilling. Go hang out with your friends. Go have a celebratory drink. Go celebrate the work that you've done and stop moving your goalpost. Because it's almost like when I hit here, I'll be happy. And then it's like you hit there and you're like, no, I don't feel it. When I hit here, I'll be happy. And it's like the goalpost keeps moving. And it's like, start celebrating the small or big movements that you've been making, because that's how you're going to treat yourself. And it's also how you're going to teach yourself what you want in a relationship, in your friendships, in life, because you're modeling that behavior. So the more you celebrate yourself, the more you're going to know what healthy love looks like because you're embodying it. The more likely you are to attract the right person because you're going to know what it looks like because, again, you're becoming what it is that you want. So we're becoming our best friend. We're becoming our own spouse. We're becoming the parents we never had, etc. You're becoming who you wished you had. Take a look at how far you've come already and celebrate yourself, because this moment will never come back, right? And 5:55 on the clock too, which is all about change. So it's like one day, sooner than you realize, you're going to have this 10 of cups and you're going to be like, holy shit, like that battle went by so fast. Like I barely remember it. So it's almost spirit being like, can you just pause? Can you just take a moment and look at what you've already accomplished and be proud of yourself for that, instead of constantly moving the goalpost to find something else to aim towards? It's almost like you've conditioned yourself to chase mountains. It's like you climb a mountain and it's like, where's the next one? You climb a mountain, it's like, where's the next one? It's like, why aren't you celebrating the fact that you just climbed that fucking mountain? You did that. Most people will call an Uber. You know what I mean? Most people will be like, nope, too hard, don't want to do it. Whereas you chose yourself. So don't downplay that, because there's a world full of people that are in a lot of pain and you chose that it ended with you. So don't downplay how strong you really are. Celebrate yourself so that you could get back into that receiving childlike energy. And then it's almost like instructions will download into your brain, or you'll just kind of intuitively know where to head next. But it comes with the fallback. We have to fall back and have fun and prioritize celebrating ourselves, because who else will do it if not for us? You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you're working on, This is just a message from Spirit that you're doing an amazing job. Wherever you're aiming for it, you're still on the right path. You may feel like there's blockages right now where it's like, I can't work as hard, or I can't exercise, or mental health, or whatever. It's like, I can't. You feel like you're stuck a little bit. It's because it's in the fallback. It's getting back into that creative energy. It's getting into that playful, excite. It's like dance like nobody's watching, have a good ass time, and see what happens next. That's the vibe of this. So I'm going to leave it here, bestie. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, my website's in the description box below. But without further ado, we are now going to get into the pop culture section, all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, besties. If this reading resonated, please let me know down in the comments. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, besties. So we are going to take a look at the motivation behind the Olympics, see what we can see. You know, a song I keep hearing in my mind is Kanye, When It All Falls Down, and I'm being drawn to how like everything is crumbling. So I kind of have a feeling that's got something to do with it, but all legend for entertainment purposes. Let's take a look. So thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. It's how I can continue to keep doing these. And if you're new here, bestie, come join. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so that you can see all future readings. All right. Olympics. What was the motivation? Okay. I keep hearing tone deaf in my mind. Masquerade feels quite literal, right? We had the, there was like cross dressers and stuff like that. This feels to me like whoever created it thought that it would do well because of the time that we're in. I don't feel like this was a slight on Catholics. I don't feel like this was to offend anybody, if I'm being honest. I think that they were trying to support LGBT. That's really honestly, it's how it reads. I wouldn't be shocked if someone that was involved in the creation was actually, like, I kind of see, I don't know who created it, but I keep hearing all inclusive. And it's like, I feel very strongly, that's probably why I heard tone deaf, that it was like, right now, and this is what I'm hearing, I don't agree with the wording choice, but I'm hearing like right now, gay is in, cross-dressers are in, and that's what I'm hearing. It's like, was it a white guy? Because it almost feels like I'm tone deaf. It's like I think that this is a trend versus like a way of life. It's almost like, you know how like, I don't know how else to word this, so I'm just going to use it as an example. You know, sometimes like straight white men are just kind of not really in touch with anything gay related. It's kind of giving me that. It's like I'm not hip or with the time, so I'm asking other people, and I can tell that, you know, LGBT is flourishing and we want to be all inclusive. So it's just giving me tone deaf. I don't think they thought it through, if I'm being honest with you. Forgetting oneself, I didn't think it through. I was just like, this seems like a good idea. This will get a lot of views. People love drag queens nowadays. Like, it just feels like I keep being drawn to like how popular RuPaul is. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like it was to offend anyone. And I think that's why they did so much damage control in removing the entire video from the internet, because it was like, that's not what I was trying to get across. But I feel called to pull more. So hold on. So Masquerade was literal, them doing whatever. Child that was meant to be spirit. What is that about? I feel like that was whoever was the coordinator, event planner, whatever. It's like, this is what I do for a living. I'm being drawn to all the colors. So it's like, I'm supposed to create wow factors. Like, that's kind of the vibe here. With the forgetting oneself, it's like, this is what's in right now. I don't get it, but other people do. So we're going to do it. I don't think that this was malicious, guys. I really don't. This is giving me like, this is what sells. I also think there's a message here about us as a society being, this is what I'm hearing, well, you can yell at me, I don't really give a shit, that we're too sensitive nowadays. That's kind of what I'm hearing, 11:55 when I said that. I think social media is kind of especially the addicted card, it's like social media has made us a little narcissistic with the obsession card there. It's in the reverse, so it's like I'm fixated on myself. So it's like we have a tendency of seeing things through our own rose-colored glasses because the world's in a state of chaos, right? Like we don't even know what tomorrow brings. Like this, it's a shit show, right? So like we have a tendency of thinking the worst of everything because, and I've said this in numerous videos, when a narcissist lies, even narcissists tell the truth, right? But when someone's lied to us so much, when they tell the truth, we don't believe them. It's the boy who cried wolf, right? That's the vibe I'm getting here, where it's like we're so consumed in our own stress and fears and worries that we project onto other people. I think that the Olympics were just trying to be hip. You know what I'm being drawn to? Oh my God, it's such an old movie. I think it's called like, I'm hearing the song Burning Down the House, but I think it's something to do with something the house. And it's that old white guy who in the movie he dates Queen Latifah and he's trying to learn how to be hip. Like that's the fucking vibe. It's like I wouldn't be shocked if it was like an older white guy that was in charge of this and then he got tips from like this feels like the intention was all inclusivity. That's what this feels like. But because of the climate we're in, especially politically, it was warped. I do feel, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, I do feel like they're telling the truth about the Dionysus thing, whatever. I really think that they were not going after the Catholics at all. So because I know I saw a comment somewhere about like, how dare the Pope not speak up on this or something like that. It wasn't intended to be offensive. It just wasn't. Like, I'm sorry. I know that we love to think that they're always out to get us, but it's not always. It's sometimes. You know what I mean? And I keep being drawn to the fact that like it's approaching a new moon. When full moons are there, it's like we're reaching our max. But with all these close to new moon vibes, it's giving me like we were just trying something on. We were just trying a new. It's giving me like I can't believe how many sirens have gone past. It's giving me like we want to see what's in. You know how like we run out of creative things, so things recycle itself. So, like think bell bottoms or the fucking mullet. Like it's giving me like we ran out of ideas, and so we're trying something with a wow factor. I think their intention was more wow factor. I want people to feel like they're seen. So our people that are gay. I think they really cared about it's inclusivity is the word that I keep hearing. Inclusivity. I think that they're just kind of tone deaf, if I'm being honest. I don't think they were. I think they really meant it when it was the Dionysus thing. I'm probably butchering it because I did a 2-second search to find that image. Yeah, I agree with that. Colorless angel in the reverse is like, we're not heartless, we're just stupid. 10 is an ending. There's so many 10s here. It's like where we are as a collective is kind of what I'm getting more so. It's like we are so like sensitive to the touch. And honestly, I think this needs to happen, right? We've seen it in all the cards. Like the world is kind of learning to adjust to the new frequencies that we're at when we're like, we're sick of bullshit. And so unfortunately, this is just kind of how it has to play out, I guess, for lack of a better term. Yeah, it's like I think because we know that all these grandiose things are driven by money and not because they actually care about us. I think that's where we're kind of getting angry about it because it's like, I think we are as a collective supposed to grow out of things like Olympics, ceremonies, things with trophies, right? Because I keep hearing false idol in my mind. And listen, I've done the reading on the Bible and Jesus Christ. So if you're into that, check out that reading. I'll make sure to link it in the description box. But it's giving me like, we as a society need to move on from quote unquote false idols because they're not good role models for us, basically. And it's run for money and not our well-being. And so it's like we're getting it, but we're not. You know what I mean? It's like we're getting it, but we're projecting it on the wrong thing. I think as a species, it's almost like energetically we're outgrowing these bullshit parties where we celebrate people that have really never done anything, helpful to society. It's like we're growing out of it. So that's why we're starting to notice things now because it's almost like it's a collective journey where we all kind of like for lack of a better term, like overthrow celebrity, overthrow Hollywood. It's like, I keep, like, as I'm channeling, I cannot stop hearing the song, We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore. It's like, we're fed up, period. So it's almost like these people will continue to do things that are kind of tone deaf, and we will continue to cancel them because it's like, I don't know how else to word this other than like, for instance, and this is something I bitch about all the time. If you're a regular, I'm sure you've heard me say it, where it's like mental health wasn't taken seriously like prior to 2020, and now it's almost like a trend to talk about mental health. It's like we're elevating in consciousness, and so we don't match with this type of shit anymore. We don't match with Olympics. We don't match with the Grammys. We know that it's bullshit, but it's manifesting in a way where we're just getting triggered so that they have to course correct, because we're like, it's like we can sense that something's not right, but we're getting it wrong. Does that make sense? It's like we can sense that, for instance, we can sense that the Olympics aren't good for us, but we can't really sense why. And so we see this thing and it's like, oh my God, it's just like the Last Supper. See, I knew it. The Olympics are evil. And it's like, evil? No. Useless? Kind of yes. And I know I'm going to get people screaming at me in the comments. What about the athletes? Does anybody else really watch Olympics like that? How can you can be an athlete without being on a fucking whatever that is once a year. I don't know. It's not for me to say, but yeah, I think they really wanted to help people that feel like they can't be seen, hiding your true self. I think, again, when you have a world full of people that refuse to release their power, then they're getting older, right? So you got like 80-year-olds ruling the country, and so they're tone deaf. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is an 80-year-old white man gonna understand who we are as a society today? We've changed so much, you know what I mean? So I feel like they were trying to understand who we are today. 4 and 1 is 5, which is change. And it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of people in the gay community that feel like they're not seen. So how do we prep them up? I feel like this was not at all to offend anyone, and I think that's why they removed everything so quickly, because it was like, fuck, you completely misunderstood where I was going with this. I think they just ran out of creative juice, and I think they also were like, what is in right now? And they're like, oh, the gays are in. Like, that's kind of the vibe, which obviously, you know, we're not a trend, but, you know, it doesn't hurt for us to be shown on TV once in a blue fucking moon. But I will look at the cards to see what we can get about the Olympics, because it seems like as a society we're supposed to be walking away from this stuff. So I guess I'll kind of go down that route and then continue to see if there's any nefarious activity. All alleged, zero facts here. All right, besties. So we are going to take a look at the tarot to see what final information we can get about the Olympics, anything that we need to know as a society, I suppose. So as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And if you're still not hitting that subscribe button, bestie, come on. Come join us. Come join the fun. All right, what do we need to know about the Olympics and the festival and all that shit? Page of Cups. It was lighthearted. People that know tarot, at least, come on, lighthearted. 4 of Wands. Out of my element. I want something new. They wanted to try something new. I don't think this was really thought out. I think it was like a fast, because then look, just as quickly as it's giving me Aries energy, you know, burn hot and fast and then burn out. No shade to Aries, but the general consensus of the energy. Why do I feel like they might have been hurting for money too? This might have been a move to bring the LGBT community to the Olympics as well, because it's giving me like, how do we get more people to watch our shit? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. It's like, we need to do something different. You know what it's reminding me of? I say this all the time. Hallmark is going to die off, because the generations that were very big into cards, it's just not, we're electronic now. So it's kind of giving me that vibe. It's giving me like Olympics is like Hallmark. It's like, we're dying off. How do we get the newer generations to watch us? We're not making enough money anymore. I feel like this was just a money stunt. It was like, well, if we act more inclusive, then it's more likely to get more views, and then we can make more money off of this. I think this was a money-making thing. That's all it was. It was money. It was like, okay, well, if we act like we're more inclusive, then maybe we'll get more of an audience. Maybe LGBT people will be more likely to watch this moving forward. That's kind of the vibe here. I don't think there was any nefarious activity. I think it was, we're dying off. No one's really as interested anymore. So how do we make this relevant for today's society? That's the vibe. This was a playful energy. There's nothing nefarious about that. Jesus is not even coming up. This was a cash thing. This was like, how do we bring in more money than we usually do? Are they dying off? Do we know? Like, do people not tune in as much as they used to? I've never watched any of this shit, but it's giving me like, we're not making enough money. How can we fix this? We got to bring in a new audience. That's the vibe. Seven of Cups is dose of realism. Yeah, it's whoever was running this, they're just tone deaf. I mean, the Emperor literally on this card has an old white man. It's like I've been on about that this whole fucking time. You know what I mean? I think you have someone in the arts department that was like, I think you have someone running the entire show, and I think you have someone in the arts department, and the one running the show is like, we need to make more money, we need to get more views. How do we do that? Let's get the art department to come up with something new, a new strategy, and then it's like, all right, well, LGBT is in right now. Like, that's the vibe. It's really that simple. Regrets. Yeah, it's almost like people are growing out of the Olympics, if that makes sense. Again, bringing me back to my Hallmark thing. It's like, how do we keep people interested in this? We got to do something different. I just keep hearing tone deaf. Honestly, I just feel like society's growing out of the Olympics. That's what this reads to me like. Yeah, Sun card. Not in the spotlight anymore, but we want to be. Six of Wands. Are they going to use a fall guy or something like that? Because I wouldn't be shocked if they throw someone out to dry. Like whoever the art department was. Like, I'm so sorry. We didn't see this coming. It's due to this person in particular. It's giving me like putting someone out to dry so that we don't lose our, because I see someone like peacocking basically like, I'm amazing, which is giving me like Olympics are just like the end all be all, and this cannot happen, so we got a fall guy. So I would not be shocked if they throw someone to the wolves, a woman maybe, potentially, because it's giving me like, we're not going to let your passion project ruin the name we've made for ourselves type of thing. But I just think you got a bunch of people that have no idea what's actually in, trying to create something that we've grown out of. So it's just kind of a shit show. Yeah, Ten of Swords is like an ending, right? And the Magician is how we can manipulate. Four of Swords is a rejection. It's honestly, I wouldn't even be shocked if the people involved in the Olympics, like setup or whatever, didn't really care, because it's giving me like lazy. Like, I know you guys mentioned the flag being upside down. It's giving me lazy. It's giving me I don't care. It's giving me meh. You know, like like, do we know how much the person who puts up the flag gets paid? Because it's giving me like, I don't get paid enough for this shit. Like, that's kind of the vibe. I feel like even the workers are growing out of the Olympics. It's really weird. The Devil. Embarrassed. Well, they're certainly embarrassed about how things played out, because they're like, oh my God, now they're going to think we're devil worshippers, blah, blah, blah. And they know that the political climate's pretty intense right now. So they're definitely scared, and that's why they made that move. It's like, we don't want to be canceled is kind of the vibe. It's giving me like a parent who doesn't want to let the kids know that the marriage is failing. So it's like, look over here. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of giving me that vibe. It's like, the public is not interested in us. We tried something different because we thought it'd be what's in and what's popular, but it didn't work. So we had to scrap it, hide it from the internet. And now we're trying to remind you, don't forget, like, you've loved us for decades. We've been around forever. You've trusted us. This is something that we worship. It's giving Super Bowl vibes. This is how much you know I don't watch the Olympics. But I think they're just trying to get you to see that they're tone deaf and not actually. It wasn't to hurt anybody. I keep hearing cash grab. I really feel like they thought that the LGBT community would bring more money in. That's how it feels. Three of Wands is other people. Relationships. Yeah, it's almost like maybe maybe they like hired someone that they thought would be more relevant, like whoever designed the set or whatever. Maybe they hired a new person or whatever, but it was like, let's take a risk so that we can expand and bring other people that wouldn't normally watch this into our this was, y'all, this is pretty cut and dry to me. I don't think I've ever had an easier reading than this. They wanted to seem like they were more inclusive so that Olympics won't die off. That's the vibe of this. I don't know the story with Dionysus. I don't think they cared about that either. I really just feel like it was like, okay, well, we've heard that LGBT people don't feel seen, so let's make this about them. I don't really feel like they're bringing in numbers for us, so maybe if we do kind of like a thing for them, they'll be more likely to watch us in the future. Like that's the energy of this. I don't feel anything bad, y'all. Ace of Cups is the back deck. Come on. Yeah, it's like we've invested all that we can. How do we grow? How do we win at all costs with Seven of Swords? You've seen things for what they really are. And look at how I use the deck with all the old men in it. I'm telling you, we got people that are running this shit that are just tone deaf. This is what I've been saying about Hollywood in general. It's almost like they're on their own little planet. They don't get us. They don't get us. So, when you worship your celebrity, just do it with a grain of salt, because if their tax bracket's a lot higher than yours, they don't get you. That's where the issue is. That's where we end up with all this. Oh no, they're devil worshippers, or oh no, they're trying to kill us, blah, blah, blah. No, they're just tone deaf because they won't release power to newer generations, which is why we have this money issue happening right now. Because the old people are hoarding it. Page of Swords of the internet, the world. Yeah, it's almost like, I think someone might have even said, hey, this might cause problems, and someone else was like, but this is very clearly not the Last Supper. This is Dionysus, and we're obviously doing this to show that we're inclusive. So again, I just feel like they thought the general public would be like, oh, the Olympics support the gays. That's great. Like, that's the vibe of this. I just think they weren't thinking. Sometimes it really is that simple. Yeah, I'm being drawn to Scooby-Doo, where they take the mask off the monster, and it's someone you know. So it's giving me the vibe of like, they're dumb. I do think they're going to make a fall guy, though. I would not be shocked if they're like, it was our, I don't know, what the fuck do they call these people? Creative effects director, and we just canned him. Like, that's kind of the vibe. It's like, it's reminding me of like Wayfair and how there was that whole scandal about selling kids, and they probably used a fall guy, right? Because didn't they fire someone? It's giving me that same energy. Like, we were just trying to expand because Olympics is kind of dying off. That's kind of the vibe. But I know you guys asked if there was anything, what the purpose of Olympics was, or any nefarious. So I'll re-poll real quick. All right, so we'll finish this off with what do we need to know about the Olympics as a whole. If there's any, whatever. I don't know. I reread the comments, and then I told it to Spirit, and I moved on. So as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And if you're new here, bestie, come on. Come on. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. All right. I think originally it was made to bring people together, but they sabotaged that because of money. Page of Pentacles. Yeah. I think there's a lot of conflict regarding what the actual purpose of the Olympics is, because it's what? It's for sports, right? I feel so dumb right now, but I'm channeling, so I can't even. Because this is like, it was originally designed to bring the people together, but I think that there's been creative differences since then. I think that greed took over at some point. I see it with everything I look into. I think there's a lot of conflict going on internally about where the Olympics are headed. It's definitely giving me like, what are we going to do now? We're not really hip anymore, is kind of the vibe. But originally it was designed to help people come together with that Two of Cups. And kind of step away from the shit that's going on in their own lives, so that we could have something to be celebratory for, is kind of the vibe. But they sabotage themselves because money hungry is what I'm hearing. Yeah. Burden. Yeah, I almost wonder if, you know how, because what I'm being drawn to is how, like, nowadays houses are getting bought by, like, corporate conglomerates so that your everyday people can't buy shit anymore. It's kind of giving me that, like, corporate conglomerates took this over. So I don't know exactly how this started, but it kind of feels like what it was supposed to be. It just ended up becoming a mega corporation instead. Probably why I was drawn to Hallmark. Yeah, because Knight of Wands is like I'm thinking, how do I word this, Spirit? Eight of Swords reversed, victim of circumstance. Ten of Wands is a burden. Knight of Wands. I think people originally came in with heart and thinking, I love sports. Let's prop this up. Let's celebrate our leaders in terms of sports or whatever. But I think you have a division here where it's like artists and money hungry. Why is it always rich old white men? Honestly, I think this is why we need to question when people like Jay-Z are a billionaire, because there's something up. Like it's always right, white rich men, always. If y'all want me to do a dive into how people of color get so much money, because I feel like something happens to them or some shit. I mean, look at Diddy and everything. I've done readings on that. But there's just something here about, like, old white men taking over shit. Like, it's still happening today. Like, it really is still fucking happening. Because this was originally, I think this was to bring people together. I think it was originally to celebrate, champions is kind of the vibe. But I think over time, people that were rich just saw this as an opportunity, right? Okay, well, we could get a $5 million contract with Dunkin' if they do a commercial during, like they forgot about what the point was. And I think the people that were passionate about it, they're either not involved anymore, or they died off, or they retired or whatever. But it's like the people that run the show now, their only focus is money. Yeah, I'm hearing Cardi. All I really need is the money. Yeah, King of Wands in reverse is an ineffective leader. Five of Cups, we're not acknowledging where we fucked up in the public eye. Because at the end of the day, it's about making money. So, I mean, is this some sort of evil we're trying to... I don't see any of that, if I'm being honest with you. Because I know some people are like, they put stuff in there so that it's in your subconscious and now you believe in the devil or some shit, whatever people say. No, I don't see none of that. The evil that's in our world most of the time is just money hungry assholes. Most of the time. Until you get to, like, Diddy energy. Then, yeah, this was just an opportunity, a chance I took for our celebration. I thought that I was thinking of the emotions of others, King of Cups. But you got a white man who was probably straight. Look at in this card. He looks pretty straight, right? So it's like they're tone deaf. I'm sorry. Like I know sometimes you guys want a conspiracy, but this just ain't it. The only real conspiracy here is I don't think that creatives, artists, even, whoever the fuck's in the Olympics, I don't think that I don't think it's as beautiful a lifestyle as they put on, I think these people live for the days like the Olympics because it gives them a chance to be seen. But I don't think the people running it give a fuck about bringing people together anymore or give a shit about the athletes. They don't care. This is all about money. Money. Greed has really taken over this world. It's scary, honestly. This is why I play in my garden. Yeah, the Hangman, Three of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. I feel like someone on the team might have even said, hey, like, this might not be the best idea. And it's like, but we'll get a higher reach with this Hangman literally floating. It's like more people will see us again. I don't even feel the need to really pull more on this, y'all. I think this one's pretty calm, pretty simple. It's not Antichrist running Olympics. It's tone deaf, rich white men. That's really what's going on. Yeah, I think in the past, it was meant to just illuminate people that should be in the spotlight for, their victories and how, I don't know the word. I can't think. Yeah, celebrate, but Six of Wands is in reverse, Six of Cups, the past. I feel like they just thought that they could keep this shit running forever, but it's just like the people in charge are just too fucking tone deaf. It's almost like life keeps moving on, but the people that are in charge don't. You know what I mean? It's like we're supposed to retire and hand off the baton, but it's like in these big industries, they're not passing off the baton. So the age gap's getting bigger, and then you're having, 70-year-old white men in a boardroom trying to tell you how this could be the most popular show when they have no idea what popular even means. That's really what it is. So I think when you continue to see stuff like this where they're doing, because I'm being drawn to like how some celebrities will have music videos with like the devil in it and stuff like that. I really don't think that I don't think it's conspiracy. I think it's more shock factor. It's more, we know this gets you worked up, which gets us more clicks, which gets us more money. So they're kind of, as a whole, these corporate conglomerates are kind of like, even bad press is press. You know what I mean? So if you really want to get ahead of these people that, manipulate us for our money, stop watching it and stop humoring it and stop clicking on their pages and stop watching the Olympics. Because that'll force them to realize that they're not working and someone will have to kick them off. And then someone younger will come in and then things can adjust as they're meant to. But what we have is a bunch of old white men hoarders all around the world that are the reason all of this shit's falling apart. It's not demonic. It's tone deaf. It's just tone deaf. When you don't let younger generations, when you don't pass the baton, when you're a Holly weirdo and you're fucking 60 and you can't move on, you still want to be the number one. That's why this weird shit happens. Think about, when you're at a family function and your weirdo uncle makes a comment about your cousin being hot and you're like, this is why old people can't run the world. Like that's the fucking vibe, y'all. It really is that simple. Sometimes it's not that nefarious. Sometimes it's just tone deaf. And this one is very big on the tone deaf. There are people that have been running this shit for decades that should have been gone a long time ago, and they absolutely refuse because they're money hungry, and so they're not tuned in, and so they keep pissing everybody off because they're not elevating in consciousness the way the rest of the general public is. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, besties. I don't know what to say. If you want to book personal reading with me, look, even the deck is messy. It's like, this is just messy. That's what it is. It's messy. It's messy because it's people that don't understand each other trying to... It's rich people on a fucking island trying to tell poor people what to be interested in when they don't even get to know the poor people. You know what I mean? That's the fucking vibe of this whole thing. It's like, it's the parent that's like, I know what's best for you, and they've never even asked you what you're interested in. That's what's going on. So I'm going to leave it here, besties. Love you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend. If you want to book a private reading with me, the link to my website's in the description box. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All the links are down below. Related videos, the decks I use, everything you ever need is where? It's in the box down below. I can't even talk. This energy is just... It's stupid. Like, I feel annoyed in this energy. It's the only way I know how to describe it. It's like, really? Like, I feel like people that work for Olympics, it's giving me like, you know how everybody's sick of minimum wage? It's giving me that. Like, even the people are like, what the fuck are we doing? I think we're having a collective elevation in consciousness, and that's why we're starting to notice things, and we're like, no, don't do that. No, that's disrespectful. No. And so what they used to always get away with, the shock factor and all of that, is now... we're going, hey, fuck that, fuck you, don't do it. So it's just, I think we're going to see more of this because, again, the people that run this shit refuse to retire, so they don't get us. So I'm going to leave it here, besties. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I don't feel like this is nefarious. I feel like this is greed. It's most of our world today, right? Unfortunate. Have a wonderful weekend, besties. Stay safe, stay blessed. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another.